Welcome back. You're watching Morning Live. It is Wednesday. It is annual budget speech day. Finance Minister Nhlanhla Nene will be delivering his very first budget speech at 2 o'clock in Cape Town today. That will be broadcast live on SABC too, so you can make a date. And we'll also be keeping you up to speed on SABC current affairs platforms on exactly what the minister does say. Many people waking up with lots of questions. What taxes will be hiked? What will be the impact upon them? Now, Ayanda-Allie Paine has been dissecting just a couple of these questions with a number of stakeholders in various sectors across South Africa's economy. So let's check in with her and hear what some of her other panelists have to say. A very good morning once again, Ayanda.
Good morning to you, Valen. Thank you so much once again. Yes, it is the 25th of February 2015. It is payday for some people, but it is budget day for the country. And of course, like you mentioned, Valen, people wanting to find out with eager expectation exactly what they can expect. Some topical issues. Labour, of course, trying to push for that minimum wage that they were talking about. Also frowning upon the possible personal income tax hike. And then we have e-tolls and a possible solution there being an increase in the fuel levy. And of course, you know, now is as opportune time as any, especially since we've seen a decrease in the price for fuel. So some topical issues there. Also state-owned enterprises and the bailout that they're seeking. The budget deficit, still problematic. And then government spending on consultants. Remember, that was a topical issue not too long ago for government spending just in general. So my panelists here today to speak to us about those issues and others. I'm joined now by Kavir Bahari. He's a principal analyst at Ubiquity Business Intelligence. I also have with us Dudu Msomi. She's the chief executive of Busara Leadership Partners, a strategic advisory firm. And then congratulations are in order for my third guest, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. I have with us Mokhata Madisha. He's here today from Argon Asset Manager. It's a black-owned firm in the volatile field, of course, of managing both private and public money. But here's the congratulations part. The firm has just been voted best asset manager in Africa for 2014 by Global Banking and Finance. Congratulations to you. Perhaps let's begin with you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us once again. You were with our panelists a little bit earlier, but I want to pick up from you the financing of the deficit. You raised one or two questions there. Tell us why.
Well, at the moment, interest rates are really low across the globe, and we're seeing international investors, looking for yield, as we call it. But it means that this budget deficit, as big as it is relatively easy to finance, and so the market right now has got absolutely no concerns about financing the budget. The question is, what happens when interest rates globally start to rise and the dollar gets stronger? And then we might find ourselves in a bit of a pickle. So that's what we would like to see the minister talk about the sustainability of our finances in the long term, not just this year or next year, because I think that when the chickens come home to roost, we might find ourselves in trouble.
And how do we try to prevent that, in your opinion?
Well, I think one or two of the speakers earlier on talked about the quality of spending. How much is being spent on wages versus perhaps something like capital expenditure. Capital expenditure will allow you to improve your growth in the future, whereas wages obviously is current spending. So we want to see the minister start to rebalance the kind of spending that he undertakes.
All right, let's bring you into the fray to speak to us. You interact with leaders of all kinds throughout your duties. Corporate South Africa as a whole, should we call it South Africa Inc., what are their concerns, and what do you think they would like to see prioritized in this budget?
All businesses need human resources. So that's usually our major thing. Our interest is usually human resources, and in South Africa it's usually the quality. So in South Africa we do understand that a lot goes into education, but it's still not giving us the right skills. I think businesses should be concerned as well when they look at what was just happening at WITS, where kids are not able to register in order to get the quality education we need for the skills that we need. And I would love to see our government prioritizing education in the context of scrapping fees altogether. I think from grade R up to the first level of whether it's your first degree or first diploma, really in South Africa education should be free. We should not be having kids not being able to go to school because they cannot afford it. Our country cannot afford it.
Skills are very critical, especially when we look at the public sector as well. Municipalities going under administration, wasteful expenditure. You go on, the list is endless. I had a question on Twitter where someone was asking me about possibly salary hikes for civil servants, and all of that comes into the fore, doesn't it?
And when you have wage increases, but you don't see the productivity level increasing to meet those increases, business leaders are not too happy about it. So the one concern we will be having this year is around wage negotiations and what the impact that will have. But productivity is very important in this country.
It is very important, as are the state-owned enterprises. Now, a lot of people not very optimistic regarding our SOEs. Speak to us about the common perceptions that people have. And I'm bringing you in here because you're a social analytics individual who tracks the trends and the public perceptions that people have towards any businesses. What are South Africans feeling about our state-owned enterprises?
Right, a few months ago we did a big data analysis of Eskom and how it's affecting the economy. Obviously, we pulled data from every online source to measure perceptions. And what we found is that South Africans were pretty upbeat about government's plans to improve the Eskom in particular. I think the situation has deteriorated significantly since the study. And we also did an analysis about what South Africans feel, or how South Africans feel Eskom is influencing the economy very negatively. And we were able to quantify three areas, a strong relationship in three areas. One is the economy in general, and that is confidence. The second is Eskom and its effect on employment, because it just increases unpredictability in South Africa. And the third, we found specific sectors, namely the mining sector, that is just totally being destroyed confidence-wise as a result of energy issues. I think so.
Before you carry on, perhaps we can continue that thought just after the short break. We're going to take a quick ad break, but yes, Eskom is the word that we'll all be looking out for today to find out if they will receive a bailout. If so, how much? President Jacob Zuma also speaking towards the figures of 23 billion or so during the State of the Nation address. We'll speak about that and other issues in just a moment. Stay with us.